Says, Miss Kate, do you not, I can't read that.
I think it's think.
Think it could be, do you not something me while standing in the deep snow at the pity. Maybe that's it. Do you not pity me while standing in the deep snow at the lonely hour of midnight, attempting to protect Southerners' rights?
So these are soldiers that were up here guarding the frontier.
Apparently, it
In
was
61.
one of Mark's friends,
Yeah.
or one of their
Southerners'
friends,
rights.
and she sent it, and that's what he
She
wrote.
she went and got
And
autographs.
this is, Dear Mrs. Rodeffer, the pleasant hours spent in your home will never be forgotten by your sincere friend, Mary E. I don't know. Could be McLean. It could be. June of 1896.
That was the last one.
McLean.
L-I-N.
Yeah.
McLean was a
Sometimes they left
pastor,
their pages
wasn't he?
blank.
Yeah, and this is hardly readable, but that's 1862. And then
your flash off if you're taking the pictures of
this
Not
two sister.
You can take us.
It won't mess us up, but it will mess
Was
up.
Mark the first
No.
Rodeffer here?
Yes. Mark would have been, because see, the Rodeffers are from down in the Shenandoah Valley, and Mark would have come to Loudon, as I was telling these people here. Mark.
Well, here it said in 1858 he traveled on horseback to Jackson, Mississippi.
Right.
I see.
Right.
He came after the war.
Right.
I see.
He went from Woodstock to Biloxi, Mississippi. He went into the Confederate Army of Mississippi. Then he later transferred to the Army of Virginia. Okay, probably to get back to the Shenandoah Valley. While he was on leave, he had a buddy, Americus Souder, from Loudon, and he came home with Americus on leave to the house, and then he met Kate Souder, and then they started to be friendly, and then after the war he came, and I think they married in 1866. So the Rodeffers came to Loudon then in 1866.
I've heard that the house was originally constructed in like 1796, and then renovated. There's some dates in the basement of like 1804.
Yeah.
So he must have bought an existing house.
Right. Well, see, he married into the Souders.
So that was a
probably
Souder family?
house. It had to be a Souder. It had to be, because the Souder land was down around there, and I'm sure that was.
And
a
that makes
Souder.
sense because my wife saw somewhere where at our house, a sister owned it, and one of the sisters owned another house in the corner where it makes it hard. Right.
I am sure. I'm sure that was it. And then when the Souders got it, and then the Rodeffers came into being, because Mark was just one of 8 or 9 children. And then Mark and Kate had 8 or 9 children. You know, they all had children.
Yeah.
Do we know where this book showed up? I mean,
The book showed up on eBay.
On eBay.
On eBay.
Sacramento.
In Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Right.
But now we do not know where the lady got it, because when I went on eBay to her eBay store,
Yeah.
she has 600 or 700 items on
Oh, so
eBay at all
she was
times.
the other one.
And if you go through them, they were all from New York and Pennsylvania. She had railroad receipts. She had store receipts. Apparently, this lady just has people shipping her boxes of
Memorabilia.
memorabilia.
You had so many little envelopes. Was each one as it was shipped from the place before?
Oh no, this is
this is
current
direct
stuff.
from
Well, that is.
This is email.
But
Direct
I mean,
from
when
California.
she got it, so that you can trace where she
No,
got
I
it.
don't know. I don't know.
She said it
We've
was
never
a box.
corresponded. I don't know.
Well, I emailed the seller and I asked her, is there any chance there's any
You know,
more
you don't.
yeah.
You know.
related items that were in the same box? Where did you get this? And she said, No, I really don't think I have anything else related to Virginia, Loudon, Lovettsville,
Right.
George,
Yeah, that's
Rodeffer,
just a name.
any of those
Yeah,
things.
sounds
But I asked her to keep a lookout just in case. She said it was just in a box of random items
Okay,
from
because
an
it looked like
auction.
you had several.
But let me
shipping
tell you,
things.
let me tell you all another story. This is the second instance for me. About 4 years ago, it was a Sunday afternoon, rainy, cold. You're bored. So I was sitting there at the computer down in Alexandria, and I don't know whether it was Roots Web or something like that. It was one of these sites where people could go on, if you're in California, hey, you're putting something out there, does anybody know about such and such from, say, Lovettsville, Virginia, or something like that? Well, I put in the name, I think Rodeffer, it was Rodeffer I put in. And it came up, and then there was this one little message. And the lady said, I have 2 boxes of letters and 2 photo albums picked up from a thrift store in Timonium, Maryland, that has letters and a photo from Eisenberg and Rodeffer. Does anybody know anything about these? I couldn't bear to leave them in the thrift store. I had to buy them, knowing that I would try to find someone who knew it.
Wow.
So she had an email address. So I did an email that afternoon, and 6 months went by, no reply. All of a sudden, 6 months later, something popped up on the email. Not from the original email address, another email address. I'm replying to your email of 6 months ago from my friend who was ill, and she said, I have these materials, but I want to make sure you are,
You're who you say you are.
who you are. So I emailed her back and I said, in the materials you should find letters back and forth to, you're dealing with people in Stanton, Virginia, and I gave them my grandmother's, my Aunt Pauline Hickman and all. I said, you should find correspondence with all of those people in. Well, of course she did. So then she knew she was dealing with a legitimate person. Then we got together, and then she sent me the first box, and it was just a bunch of letters back and forth. It was basically to the Eisenberg. Now that would be one of the daughters of Mark and Kate, that they had 8 or 9. One married a Professor Eisenberg and lived in Stanton. So they had all of that materials. And so I acquired, she did send me that, and that's where I got some of these pictures here, and not that one, but pictures of my great-grandfather, Mark Rodeffer. That was in the photo album that was sent to me. So it's happened to be twice, out of the blue, that people have found something.
This guy was married to this lady,
So
and
who knows?
they built
Stuff is out there.
the house that you live in today.
That's our house.
I'm not sure if they're at your house in this picture, but
I don't recognize anything.
Could be.
Yeah, well, I don't like to put up a lot.
this is when he's an older man. He's got his
That's our house.
colonel.
That's our house. See, that's the big tree, and there's the fence.
That might be your house right there.
Contact information.
So,